And maybe it'll be just amazing, and I'll use it, because I was trying to do a a little quickie video, but this one is not going to be a quickie anything. Okay, so and I'm gonna guess, I've been calling it Tissoooh because it seems right, but I think probably Tissoooh is right because with the OOH on it. And and at the moment I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have some other words. We're putting this in the nemesis pile this morning. All right, so let's take a look at the step out. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad. I did the beginning part. I left the beginning part I had on that step out. But let's share the screen and chat about it. And yeah, there we go. Right? Oh, heck, entire screen. Let's just do that. All right. So this one, I mean, it's complicated because it has so many options. And my thing is being really slow. There we go. All right, let me make it bigger, and I can even, oh, good, I can, oh, wow. Zoom in, zoom in. All right, but let me move down. So this one, and I think I might still refine it. We'll see, or I'll add another page, because you can use pretty much any shape you want. I started off with this pentagram because it does seem to be oddly that my hardest part sort of with this one is actually doing the pentagram. And it ends up looking like a house, and it's like, no, I need to have those sides in, but because it's a fill-in, you can adjust that, right? Okay, so then we draw these spokes coming out from every side. And what I do is I kind of trace along that side, so that way it doesn't look like it's just coming off the corner. And then it also gives me direction. And then we aura those sides. And we had confusion this morning on which way to do that. And I don't know if it'll be better when I live demonstrate it, but we'll kind of go slow here, so that way it's underneath. So looking at these, we'll call them spokes, or these lines. If you were to hold it so that way this was, say, straight up, we're gonna aura underneath it. Because some were doing about, and it made it confusing. So I think I have an idea on how we might make that not confusing. And then we fill in these corners, and this was another place too where half of teaching Zentangle, it seems like, is figuring out, how do I say this so that way other people will understand it. And so we're filling in these corners, and and I think it's probably going to be better explained, demonstrated, because there's this hollabow feature to this. And the way I was thinking about it is it's almost like as if you were dusting away the sand, and all this hollabow pattern comes up. And that's how the whole pattern looks to me. So we have to kind of preserve where these hollabow lines would be coming with our filling in. And so I'll muddle through that. Hopefully not as bad as this morning. And then we do that basically on two sides of each of these lines that we draw. And then there's options. So then we have this pattern, which looks neat, but then there's options for playing with it. So I did it again here. I could have added these lines, and I could have stepped it up one there. Oh well. This is one that I kind of liked, where drawing curved lines coming from these end points, and then kind of continuing drawing these bumps, and then alternating, and doing more curved lines. And I think that looks super neat. And you can see just from the open parts in between, what I'm calling are these bumps, it looks like the hollabow when you look at the whole pattern. And that's where I kind of got this idea of it's like you're brushing away the sand, and there it is, and just pieces. There's also where you could put a nice line in between each of those lines, and kind of have it sort of circling or doing a double. That's what I did in this last square, and that's what I have for the step out. Now I will, you know what? Oh, let me do this. And I don't, let's see if I still have it up here. I do. So let's look at Thomas Patterson. I have got, do you see how many things I have open here? This is why I get myself into trouble. Because I don't need to have all of these things open. I was doing a quote, and that's why I have all this stuff open. Okay, let's get rid of it. Oh, did I get, oh no, there it is. Okay, get rid of that. And as soon as, oh, if we're having internet problems, I won't be able to get to that. Oh, and if we're having internet problems, am I still here?
Yep.
Good. All right. Okay, so we'll stop the screen share. I'll try to just save that in a link. Okay, so Catherine says, I tried to find Tissoooh. You know, if you type in Tissoooh, it's 3 O's, 2 S's and 3 O's, and put Instagram. And the gentleman's name is Thomas Padros. And we'll see if towards the end, if things get working better on our internet side, because it was just sitting there spinning, I'll put a link to that. But he's on Instagram. This that last thing. So with doing these kind of trailing off arm things, and then I ordered it. So that was what I finished. What we kind of pretty much did this morning was just playing around with it. So that was my finished tile from this morning. It was just kind of a mess. And so that's why I call this working through because we're gonna do this together. Let me just check and make sure, see if that, oh, there, it's up. Okay, let me share again. Oh. And share, where are you? Share. All right. Here we go. Yeah, so he's on, oh, here, I can do this. Let me cut. And I will paste that into the chat. Okay, and hopefully that will work good. I don't know if you have to be on, I don't think you have to be on Instagram to be able to view it. Hopefully not. All right, so let me scroll down. He's got a lot of really neat things. And this is one of those where, you know, he's an artist and that is really cool. And that's probably why this is complicated. So then you have to scroll down through all of this loveliness. And it's down here somewhere. There's 2 of them. So there's advanced and then there's regular. So we'll click on the regular one first. And this way you can see. But see, you know, and it's just neat how, and this is what I mean by this hollow bow. And it kind of like, so he's got 3 of these pentagrams, you know, next to each other. And then they just kind of naturally, and then with the shading, it kind of helps that. And although it looks like he might have maybe drawn a little extra line there. But so here's the shapes that you can do. And you can do a circle as well. And on his, let me get to, oh, down here. I can't make this bigger, but he's got, so this is showing it looks like the triangle, and he's got some dotted lines. So filling in these little corners, he's got some dotted lines where he's showing to kind of preserve the idea of the hollow bow. And let's see, does that take it? Oh, and see, there's a finished product, adding some holes here and there. And so this, you're going to have, it'll just take some practice. And I see some square shapes and some triangles, and he's got like some of everything in here. We're not going to worry about getting to that stage yet. I guess we want to just be able to try some of them. And then the advanced, he shows this, which is really neat, and having, oh, I did the aura-ing wrong on mine. Okay, well, that's all right. What I did was still fun. You know, and same idea where you can take these lines through and make some neat auras. But anyway, so let's get to playing with it. And I did get that link in there, so that will be good and helpful. All right. So starting with starting with, well, let's just do the pentagon. Yeah, let's do the pentagon, the pentagram. And I have got too many pens sitting out here in front of me. Okay, I'm going to end up using a PN1, and I'm just going to plop this right here in the middle, because I'm thinking maybe what I'll do is try, if not while we're on this call, afterwards, and try adding a bunch and see how well I can make them work together. And now I'm going to try to stay in the screen. Okay. Coloring that in. So if you have a fatter tipped marker, or what I was doing earlier was I was just like doing, scribble, 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 scribble. Just, okay, that means it's filled in. Just so I could get to these other parts. Oh, and then I did that and then I messed that up. Okay. When the challenge when you use the thicker marker is that it stays wet a little longer. All right. And you know what? I'm going to fix this a little bit. Again, the advantage of the fill in is that you can kind of adjust if you need to.
That's what I was just going to say. It really helps.
It does. All right. So our initial spokes coming off of this. So I just followed, picked a line to start, and so I picked this edge, and I'm just drawing the straight line out. And I keep drawing mine what I'm feeling like is too big, too long coming out. Like I've almost drawn it equal length. Wow. That eyelash is all over. Okay, and then turning the tile and just extending each side out. And this is just going to be one that we have to just play with. And then we figure out, okay, how long do I really want those initial spokes to be? Now, this is where we had confusion after that. I'm looking at my tile. Here's this edge and this spoke. I'm going to aura the whole thing. So auraing the shape as well as the line. So going underneath it like that. So hopefully that makes sense, because we had some that were doing it. No, I don't remember. They were doing it above, so they were doing it like here instead of doing this whole length. So the side and the extra bit as well.
And then I found I've never done this before, but
yeah, move yours up towards the stand
to turn it, and just by turning it for each stroke, it helps to show you where you have to do it.
Exactly. But what happened earlier was they started off wrong. I'm sure it's something, the way I was explaining it. I just said aura and not under or over, so they were thinking it meant to do it like here or something. So that the whole thing. Wait, where's my example? Oh, right here that I X'd. So then it ended up looking like this. So they here was the line and they did it here, and so it just yeah. So going under, again, the pattern or your initial shape as well as that spoke, and then turning it, because that way as you turn it, then you're always in that right direction. And then so then this is where, filling in these little corners. So what was kind of neat with this is that we almost kind of can create a different shape out of it. So like I'm looking at say this one here, and it's like, oh, this started off as a pentagram, but it kind of looks like a star if you look at all the dark parts put together. So and I'm going above, so I'm looking at my pentagram, and I'm going above the two sets of two lines. And then, well, this one's going to be small. So what I had been doing is to preserve if I was using Halabow and I was continuing this here. Actually, this only gives me this much right here. Let me do a better one. Oh, this one right here. Okay. All right. So if I want to preserve this, well, I'm just calling it a Halabow board because that's what it is. So I would kind of start here, because if it was going to continue straight, it would be there. And then I'm essentially coloring in, going from the end of this line. So I'm triangulating and I'm coloring in that triangle. But what I want to avoid is going over where this path would be if I was hollowbowing that all the way. And it still doesn't make sense even when it's coming out of my mouth. Any thoughts on that, Mom? I was waiting. I was like, ooh, we should try your take. But you have to
Well,
move.
I had to extend my lines because by following it like you said, I was running out of the parallel lines. So
Yeah,
we
yeah. So
shall
we can adjust it. Let's see.
see what
And
happens.
Teresa's question is, what is the difference between the circle paper? Oh, this is what I did earlier, and I had thought, oh, I'm just gonna do like this pattern on the round. There's no difference in the paper. This is what I was messing with earlier in the earlier class, just kind of like making a sampler. Because this is that's why I called it working through, because it's like if you can make a finished product that looks amazing, you get all kinds of kudos.
We're just trying it out.
We're trying it out, yeah, because I've seen a lot of talk about it, and then and I thought, well, let's figure this out because it's fun to do. So again, I'm going from the tip of this line, no matter how long it is, and I'm drawing my first line then to color in, but I'm drawing it kind of even with where this one would end up if I was to continue it.
Well, mine definitely looks like a star.
Yeah.
Kind of a
Oh, it does.
lopsided. Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
lopsided, but that's okay.
Yeah. And
It's
yeah,
whimsical.
it's whimsical. And then this one here, yeah, it does not have that much. And see, that's one of the things with Zentangle patterns that makes Zentangle a Zentangle pattern is not planning. So like I did a quickie video, was it yesterday, on the Celtic Celtic, that's the pattern. It looks like this. And that was one of the things that I applauded the person that created that, is because usually when you do that, we're using graph paper or dots or some kind of something, and typically in Zentangle, I know in the books that's what they say, is no planning, no anything. So this kind of is more on that sort of planning stage, but once you kind of get the idea of it, you don't have to think about it so much. So once you have, and I call these the corners because it is kind of like this is tucked into this corner, they're all tucked into these corners here. So once you have those filled in, then we're going to go to the other side of what I'm calling the path, or this, like, what would be a hollowbow board. And I'm going from the farthest tip. Oh, and see what I
At
didn't
this
do here?
point,
Okay.
should you try to even out your parallel lines so they all extend out a bit, or do you not worry about that?
I wasn't worrying about it. I was just
Okay.
doing it with however they ended up. Although, so here's the interesting thing, is one of the things that I had thought was, well, I don't want to have any of these, in the end, any of these lines just kind of being a line like that. So I might fix that in a minute. But so what I was doing on the opposite side, so like this is the outside, we'll call it. Yeah, because this would be the inside, that's the outside. Is same thing. I'm kind of going either from the tip or where this hollowbow would be, and just making it like a little bit of a triangle bump type shape. Actually, that looks like a flattened
Hmm.
Hershey's Kiss. So
Hmm.
a little lump. And, well, I'm getting all mixed up. And then so I'm looking here. So like this, if I was making this and continuing it, it would be right there. So I'm just making a little bump like this, like a little teeny mountain. Because it seems like in his shapes, that's what he's using mostly. It's kind of like a triangular-ish shape. And so I'm doing that on each outer edge. This is one of those, just like
Are you
I
making them rounded or?
I'm making them rounded, yeah.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Yeah. So then what will happen is it's kind of like on the outside. Okay, I got all four. Um, so two ways of thinking this. So if you were looking at each each board, you have some kind of a filled in on the left side that's closest to your original shape, and then something on the kind of the right side of it that's just some kind of a, like I said, a triangular lump. And so on each side, so like this one, although this, I think I'm going to bend this. I'm going to round this all the way up, and then hence turn my this little path a little bit. Where's the other one? Here it is. Yeah, I'm still leaning on this one is a little too much like art. But and if you found that you needed to extend those lines, I would feel free to do it, especially because we're doing this fill-in thing, and then it can look good so that we don't have those lines that where you start and stop and it looks funny. But see, even here, it's like you see this hollow out, and then you have these kind of open. It's like going into the open. It's almost, if you've ever seen hollabout where they use it as a string.
Oh,
So,
Heather, I have an example.
oh, yes. Okay, so here is confused. Okay, so looking at this, so yeah, and I apologize. So here, this is a confusing tangle. So seeing in the example that I'm showing, yeah,
It looks like this.
right. And so I wonder if that helped his thought process. And then, yeah, so what I'm having trouble with is explaining how how to do this so that way we're not confused. But it's almost like what Mom just showed, but the background is colored in, but we're doing it the opposite approach. So let me try this and see if I can help. So I'm like going, okay, I got this far with this one. Let me try another one, and I'm just going to pull up this one that I was playing with earlier, and maybe this time I'm going to just do a box because it might be easier.
Scribble, 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 scribble,
Yeah,
scribble.
exactly. It's like that's called filled in. I was using this pen with the regular paper that I had put through the laser printer, and I think it must put something on there, a coating or something, because the pens are now acting weird. Okay, so starting here again, we'll see if we'll catch. So here, all right, and anyone else. So don't feel that's what as I'm getting ready, I'm like going, if I could cancel, I think I would, but I'm not going to because that's not the Zentangle way. All right, so I'm going in for this one. I'm going from the top edge, and I'm going to go out to the left, and that's the way I'm going to do my little spokes. So top edge, and I'm tracing the whole top edge, and I'm taking that over, and I'm drawing probably a way too long line, but I don't care. And then I'm turning my tile, and same thing on that edge, and I'm extending that edge all the way out, and then doing it again. And again, and then this one I made that bigger because my box was not square. Okay, so we have you there that so far. Okay. And Shane is maybe confused. I don't. That's funny, Shane, that you mentioned the left-handed thing. Because it's like I remember you're talking about it before, and I don't know because if I was left-handed, so if I'm coming, here's my box, and I'm still going out to the left. You could, and if it worked better, you could go to the right, and it's just as long as it's the same way. Actually, this makes me think of a windmill. Yeah. That's what that makes me think of. All right. So, actually, somebody earlier said that we should do this with alcohol, and I was like, no, that would be really fun.
To drink?
Yeah. And it's like if I can't explain it the regular way. I don't know. All right, so now that we have these 4 lines extending from our pattern, then so looking at one line, I'm going to aura that line starting at, let's see. Well, I'm starting here, so as you can see. So this one coming down is where I'm starting, and I'm going under that one. So covering, auraing the box colored in as well as my line I extended. And then same thing, we're going to continue that, just turning the tile and doing that same motion. I tell you, maybe if we could get to, like to this, after this stage, I think that we will have achieved greatness if we can get that done. Okay, so looking at your square, then you should have, these four, well, it kind of looks like a frame almost with these four, and I'm just going to call them boards for now. I was calling it a path, but that was confusing me. So these four boards coming out like they are here. Okay, good. Thanks, Shayna. Now, and I'm going to extend this one just a little bit. All right. So now to shade in the corners, and I don't know why I need to be turning this because all four sides are the same. All right. Now,
where do you pick to start to shade in the corners?
So what I had been doing, I kind of have been doing it two ways, but I think I'll do it this way. So it's gonna be this corner right here. I'm gonna put an orb there. That's my corner I'm gonna shade. So I'm looking at this board right here in this line, and if I was extending it, I would take this one and I would start it right here. And so I'm putting a little dot there. So what I'm doing is I'm going from there and I'm just drawing to the tip of this.
Do you have to go to the end of the line that you're drawing, or can you go part way?
You know what? You could probably go part way. Let me look at. It seems like on his though, he was going to the edge.
Well, I drew mine way too big.
Let's look again. And I almost have to look at. Well, let's compare. This is good. See, and that's the thing. Yeah. So how long? Yeah. That is the $1 million question. I think it is. Let me share again. Okay, so looking at his, where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so see, I mean, it looks like they're almost, some of them are extending an equal distance out, like this triangle, it's almost as big as the triangle itself. The square is close. But see here, like looking at this last step on all of these, they kind of all, they're triangles, but they are kind of curved on these edges. If that makes sense. So that's where I was kind of like, I'm just going from whatever the tip is, and then taking it in, so it doesn't cover, so it doesn't go into where this, like say, where this board would be. So it's not going over it. Although at the same time, looking back, let's go forward. It goes so crazy. But yeah, as you actually looking at this, you see these little triangles, but you don't see any line protruding from them. They just kind of, that's where they all end. Is with that, that little triangle, curved triangle bit.
Well, mine is just going to be big.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's fascinating, but I think this is one that you'd have to do really practice.
I think so too. I really do. And because that's where it's like I'm kind of getting this concept of, because it's let's see, I want to be able to demonstrate that maybe with graphite. So because like on his, it's hard to see because it's small. So if you have a chance to look at that link, what he has done is he drew like this. He drew dotted lines, like kind of like that. So it's like, oh, just but this is where I kind of get into the, well, that for demonstrating to get the idea. Oh, maybe that does help. Well, this one, see, and I although I'm gonna make these a triangle. Let's see. Can you see that? No. I'm doing this in pencil, just a little bit darker. And two, I'm just doing a triangle because I'm looking like, well, I could do it in this shape if I wanted to. And I think, yes, you can see now better. Because now I can see. All right. Oh, Michelle, hey, no worries. We're still kind of at the beginning, so don't worry. And he swirled the lines. Oh, okay, yeah. So you could do some off to the left, some off to the right. Yes, it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of being, if you pick one way and do that. Otherwise, then you'd have lines going, the wrong directions. And then two, let me do this. So let me see if I can make this. Actually, maybe I need to do this like giant size. That might help. And so I don't. Oh, so you can see that. Okay, I'm looking back at the screen saying, oh, I can see that. So that's good. So this is where I mean. So it's like what we don't. If we came up in the middle of this, it kind of it negatively affects the effect. It affects with an A, the effect with an E. if we're kind of going, interfering with these. Oh, here, let me do this line here too, just to get that idea. And I hope, does this help to make sense with these little lines?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, good. Yay! And I say, so here, check in with you. How does that help?
I think the confusion was the length of lines.
Okay.
How long, that's what was confusing. Because if it's make the lines really long, then the extension, the triangles are really long. Big.
Right.
That's my problem.
That's what's confusing. And I've never heard you say you're confused, Cherie. So.
Right.
Now,
okay. Thank you. So here.
I have no place to put my little bump on the other side.
Wait. Yes. Wait. On which side?
When you put the little bump.
Yeah, but the bump is going on the opposite side of where your triangle is. And
I know.
I'm pointing. Oh no! You did have room.
No, I didn't. If I do it
so
on the
like
other.
Here, so right where your pen is would be the bump. The second one, and then going into, to the other side, not that side. So the other side, the other end of the line, right there.
Yes.
And then so that bump will go up until. Boy, I wish you could see me pointing at the screen. Okay, so
towards
wait,
the
here.
square, towards the square, or towards the edge of the paper.
So going towards the square. So here, Mom.
Okay.
So here's your big triangle, right?
Okay. All right.
And then so on the same line. So here's the tip of that line, but then you're going backwards. So like I would be doing there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No. It sort of does. Okay.
Yeah, so pretend like your line was there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so make your a triangle or a bump. You have
well, the problem is you don't have the rest of your triangles colored in on that one, so that's where it's misleading.
Right. So let me do quick.
I got you now. Okay.
All right. And they, like I said, they don't have to be triangles because like in his they're on his they're a lot smaller. But, when you come up with these ideas, then, I guess you are better at them. So looking at that board, so you would have two lines, two triangles or two bumps on the same side.
Yeah, I got it now. I'm
Okay.
still extending my lines.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I do see.
Okay. But I think for me it seemed like as I was figuring out, oh, what helps is to be cognizant of the hollow that we're creating by making these dark patches that seem to help. And actually, so this one's kind of neat because you could do, like, I have these like more like curved lines. And that's what I think too. I mean, after you get used to playing with it, you could experiment with, well, what kind of shapes am I going to do here? And now mine sort of looks like a pinwheel. If I was just to look at the black that's behind it as one pattern. Oh, and look at that. Yours looks neat like that.
Well,
Yeah.
I just have to figure out how to finish it off now because my lines
Right.
are going, oh, I know.
Or it's like, well, I'm just going to make that into another tangle. That's why my tiles, I was like going, okay, what do I have the most tiles of so that way I can, use them. And then, okay, so and Alexa, I have no idea what mine turned into. Well, we can't wait to see. But that's where, yeah, and that's why I was, no matter how long my line went, I did the darkening in from wherever that tip was, because then you have that effect of, that hollow bows, or yeah, the hollow bow is then created. And then what I'm thinking is on the ones that he has, where they're next to each other, kind of like this, where you could add and modify your lines. This is what I was just kind of goofing around with. And not even really worrying about how you position them. I'm going to just do a little triangle here. But this is definitely a hurt your brain one. And let's see. So for say Michelle, if you've gathered where we were at up until this point or not, I'll do a triangle one, and we can kind of catch you up at the same time. And then anyone else that is, if we're still lost at some point, it's like, okay, I'm gonna get it this time. Okay, so this time I'll do a triangle shape. And I'm gonna do it the opposite way. Can I do it the opposite way? Okay, so if I went off to the left, then that would mean I'm going off to the right. And then this one would be off to the right. Sometimes I tell you doing things backwards. And then it's just a matter of still, whichever direction, remembering that we're auraing under those lines, under the whole shape, and under that line extension. And I've been drawing mine straight. And if you noticed when I showed his, they were, they kind of, turned out a little bit. That's also something that can be played with. This one I have nothing going over, so I have, okay, so then here, again, filling in those corners. Oh, see, because my triangle is so big. So this one, actually, I'm just going to make this one like a curved line here. And then I'm going into right here. So if I was picturing dotted lines here where that aura, or that line would come out. And then, well, this one is going to go off the page, but same idea. And then that. And that. Yeah, I can't tell if this pen is dying or there's just something that's clogging it. One way or the other. Oh, and then here, little bump there. There we go. And I've run this one almost right into the other one. But oh, look at what you're so that's a neat, Mom. So that's so
yeah, it's.
and then you can put other tangles in there or something,
I
or
could, yeah. Well, my thought was to try doing some of these smaller, like the circle, the square,
yeah.
the inside, but I scared myself, so I didn't.
Oh, I tell you, this is indeed a scary one. All right, so I'm going back to this was the first one I did, which was the pentagram, and let's see how we're doing on. Oh, that's right. I gave us. I was first thinking, oh, I don't know this. It might not take that long. And we still might not finish anything. Well, we will. We hopefully everyone at least can get to this part. And this is all that he really had listed as in the first book. So the advanced was doing other things.
Well, like that one, the finished one that you showed, that was the advanced one.
Yeah. Yeah. So like this, this was it was more of the advanced one, and I did the. I'll have to go back and look at how he did the aura because it wasn't auraing the entire thing. I have to go back and look at it. But so other neat things, actually. Actually, let me. I could just start. I could just do it on this one. So, if you got this far, then one way to add a little extra is so I picked one of the hollowbow boards, as I'm calling it, and I'm I'm leaving enough room so that way I can aura twice. But so I'm doing an aura up one side, and then coming up around and auraing whatever that bump is there, sort of, and then coming down, so that we're coming back into that next board right here, and then continuing that line, and then out and around, and back into here's the other board. And if you kind of keep it consistently close to one side, that way you also have room to do the other side. And you can kind of just keep going around and around, and then as you end up, then it's like, oh, right where I started, and then it almost looks like a continuous line. And I think we can do the same. Let's see. I think the other way is not exactly. Well, let's just try it. And it's not exactly like this one. I felt like I was going around and around. Let's try it right here. So coming up this other side, and then going around this other bump. Oh, sort of. And I'm coming out there. It's just a little bit different path. And then I'm going around this little triangle, and then up this path, and around this big triangle. And at some point, this will end. I was like, how many sides have I done so far? And there. And that kind of has a neat look. Just to go through, and like I said, I did it twice, so I was kind of going around, each side. But that, you could also just go through once. Or, let's see. Oh, I could try that on this one that we were playing with. So another way that he kind of finished it off, which is this one. So this is the same pentagram, but say looking at, say this board is just kind of going from the edge here, this line, and making a curved line and kind of encompassing the outside of both of these two, and then turning your tile, same idea, and so that just it kind of has a neat effect there as well. And let's see. If I was to do that one. Well, and actually, I almost kind of like this one without the aura as well. Let me just pull up my little step out.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out to do with
this one.
Yeah. So you don't follow the whole curve. You just kind of have it flying off into the
into the sunset. So taking that, where did it go? So from here, and this would be like the outermost edge one. Yeah, that one right there. And then just doing a curved line from that. So each of those, it'd be like this top edge, that last little bump that we've been talking about.
I was
thinking you followed.
I was thinking you followed the whole curve, but you don't. I just tried to go back to the Instagram site that you did to see if I could scroll down to the step outs, and I don't have an Instagram account, and it wouldn't let me. I could log in with Facebook, or you have to know your password, and and I don't, and or you have to have an Instagram account. So some people might have trouble logging into theirs, but yours is fine, so no need.
And I'm trying to do this by making a house instead of a pentagram. I guess it is a house. I guess well, let's see how I can adjust that. I guess I can make it bigger.
So did you put your step outs on the chat?
Yes, I did.
Where?
Yeah.
Okay.
There.
I got it.
Okay. And I'll see too because I thought I had gotten to them without logging into my Instagram, but it also could be because I made the link from mine. Maybe that's the problem.
I just added his Facebook page to the chat.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Excellent. Let's say if you're on Facebook, and saying if not, because that's the thing about, well, I think my stuff is just being really slow, so I will wait to connect. Thank you for putting that in there. But what I found is that you could even do a search and put, Thomas Padros, and then put the Tissoooh, put the name, and find it. I actually did find some other tutorials, but I was like, I want. I sound like my nephew Nathan. I want to do it myself. I wanted to figure out how to do it with my own words. But it too, I might go and just take a look and see how other people are describing doing this. So I'm doing another pentagram one.
Oh, I see what I have to do.
Okay.
Well, I extended my lines, but my little I have to get out of here. No, I'm not out of here. Just
out of here.
There, yeah, out of here. So I extended both my lines. Now I have these little lines just kind of floating out there. So I guess what I have to do is I have to because to make it look like it's part of the halabow.
Oh yeah.
I have to.
You could just adjust it.
Yes, I have to do one of those things.
One of those course correction things, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like, where I was just, I said, and I was doing them more straight, but there's no reason why you couldn't, if you wanted to do it curvy or whatever. I just think, it just seems like not going past what would be that line, or being at least aware of, hey, I want to preserve this line because that's part of the effect of the tangle.
But it does make more sense after you
do it a couple times.
Yeah.
Suffer through it a couple times. Oh my goodness. But I think it's, I mean, for me too, not worrying about I suppose if the length of the line is a little too short, that causes a problem. But I was trying to not worry about it so much, so that way, it's just kind of one of those, it is what it is. And then kind of brings its own uniqueness and organicness in that way. Because otherwise we could just start getting out rulers and stuff. Oh, that's not allowed. No. All right, so I have that side. Yeah, because I want to do some more of that. Do yeah, the little the arms, because I think that looks really, really neat. So if we can get to this part. I almost think it's easier to add those arms than it is to, put a bunch next to each other and then figure out what to do from there. Maybe that, is if we play with it enough, and maybe I'll get to that point. But at the same time, because as I was playing with that, where's my little sketchy book? Oh, here it is. Not that one. Oh, here. Yeah, so as I was playing with it, and then I started just adding some graphics, I thought, oh, I'll just, do that, and I'll smudge it out here. And this, that would be, kind of my lines, and see what happens. And I was like, oh, I'm starting to see how that, could kind of take some shape, and having not the straight lines necessarily, but having things kind of curvy seemed to help. And I think too, it helps me to say, to pretend like I didn't make that, and because then I'm looking at all the kind of the wrong things. Shade all of that in. That is kind of neat. Let's see. Yeah, that's funny, Michelle. So yeah, straight is good to start off with. Yeah, and the learning curve. Yeah, I like that. Pun intended. That's good. Well, and and it's fun to challenge ourselves too. Say, as much as it, we get, it's like, oh, this is just hurting my head. But at the same time, it's like, but every once in a while, we challenge our tangleness. Yeah, and so this one again, if you want to add these, the little arms, it's that. So looking at any board, and it's that the furthest out more. So whether if you drew yours going to the left, it'd be this leftmost on the top. So not in the corner, but on the top. If you went to the right, then it'd be of course the other way. And I just kind of following, however this side goes, and just making that curve on all of those, and that can kind of make it as long as you want. And then when we do that, so here's this bump, right, that we made the curve line on that same side. We're going to do another bump, and it doesn't have to be the same size as this one. Or I was calling it the underside. So it's like, if you're looking at the curve, I was calling it the underside of the curve. So mine are curving from this position. They're curving, up away from me, and so I'm going to do this little bump on the underside. Whoops. Well, I shouldn't say oops. So I'm making this. I was making my little triangles look. They were curving funny, as if I was doing something else. And it sounds like Mom's shading. Let's see. Oh, see, look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me finish this one.
It looks like a ninja star that you throw.
I think we came up with that earlier too. Oh no, earlier we had the biohazard symbol. Oh no, was it that one? Or was it this? Yeah, they just look like the biohazard symbol, and then we had ninja stars, and we're off the Zenny reservation for sure. And then with these curve lines, you're going, one direction and then flipping it going the other direction. Again, same thing as I'm retracing, the one side sort of just to kind of give me a launching pad.
So I could go further. No, wait, I can't.
That looks.
It's different. I mean, I tried to make it look like you could see it going under the paper.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
Yep. Yeah. And that is what it looks like. It's kind of like I have some dies for the card making that they cut out from within whatever they don't cut out something. They cut out a pattern inside a piece of paper, so you have to use the whole sheet of paper. It's not like it cuts out a square. It's one of those that I always have to take a look. It's not very often that we have one of those, but it is kind of neat. And see, and that's what this makes it look like. Like we've drawn Hollabow kind of in reverse, and it's half hidden.
I don't like the other one I did. It has no redeeming qualities.
Oh, but did you finish it yet?
Well,
I think you can just put other tangles in there. See, it looks like. I think that looks neat. But then you put some. I mean, you could put even just other somethings in there, and then and shading does help.
Right.
Alex Calder Mobile. So I'm going to have to look that up. So here, Alex Calder Mobile. Oh. And then you can just kind of keep going with this. And I kind of like that because I don't know, I like the way the effect this has. Some of me, wants to figure out, well, how could you make it go? Well, here I have an idea. I was like, how could I make it go another way? Well, why couldn't I take this and go like that? And go like that. And take that.
That's how he did that whole page one. You just keep going.
Right. And then, and this is just making the arms versus, I mean, on one of those, I mean, you can see, the initial shapes in there, but, my book for me personally is like that almost, I'll have to just try and play with it. But if it takes too much planning, it's like, well, no. And this I like because this can be kind of free flowing, and we're still getting that that neat effect of having the The hollow appear from nowhere. I hadn't thought about until just now how to expand those out. Okay, so I'm sold on this one. And I think you could probably do, this same idea with pretty much. Well, you did that with starting with the triangle. Is that what you had, Mom? Was yours starting with the triangle?
No, I did
that one you did?
hexagon and square.
And it made it look like a. It makes it look like a
star.
Star, yeah, just so neat. But I think you could probably do this with any of them. But doing the pentagram, it just gives you more places to go.
I could do more. Did everybody hear that?
I could do more. So somebody said to I don't know who. Could you push yours up a little bit more, Mom, to the stand? Yeah. See, and I'm really liking that, and even without the aura, which I think I want to go back and just peek really quick at. Oh, it was each individual thing. Oh, okay, kind of like what I did already. All right, so that I do like. All right, and that would mean, although you'd have to decide that you're done, but what I did, while this still looks, kind of okay, having aura the entire thing, what he did was to. Well, I'll do it right here because I'm thinking this part is done. Is so starting at this line and aura-ing and coming. Wait. Oh yeah, that's right. And coming back to that line, and then starting this one. Say, unless I think I'm going to go that direction, I don't know. But so it's kind of like from curved line to curved line is where he's auraing, not the whole entire thing. It's similar to what I did here, where it was just like, oh, okay, I'm auraing from this line, following it around till that line right there. So kind of a similar idea. And that one I'm gonna call that one done right there. But I'm thinking I want to see how much more fun I can have with this, and having it go out like that. And you know what? You're right. Well, yeah, I think you're right. Well, I think this is what he did on that one. And I think I did show the one where he had just kind of like some straight lines and just some orbs here and there, and it just makes it look very spacey, and that's kind of cool. I haven't done any shading yet on this. Yeah, let's see. Oh, and see, yeah, and that and what's neat is doing the shading like that. So it's like you're shading, picturing, because you're still doing like kind of one side, Mom, right? And it's not,
right.
Which is giving it that curved look, so you can almost like imagine where the other side would be, but there is no line there. Oh, and now it looks like it's a dancing star.
That's it. That's what it is. That's what I intended.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, I'm hoping that we've kind of gone away from the hurt brain thing to Okay, I kind of get it. It might hurt. So it might hurt a little bit still, but.
So are you going to aura all of those, or do you just
I
show?
might. Well, because I just did the one, but since I did the one, that means I have to do the rest of them.
Yeah.
I just had it sort of was like, well, I just have to decide when I feel like I'm done. I don't know. That could be done. So, yeah. So I think so. What it's kind of a neat aura in concept is yeah. So like here, I'm going from this line, and then I'm auraing around until I get to another line like that, and then you're just stopping there. And so then, I don't know what. Let me just flip back.
It's a dilemma. Oh no! I was going to point at the screen, but you couldn't see me.
It's catching. Oh, see, and I was just like, oh, do I do this line? No, and we're just doing one side, so it's not doing. It's kind of like encompassing. I don't even know how to describe that.
Well, it's kind of like a puzzle because you have to now that line. Yep, you're doing. Yep, and now
And
you
then to
have to
that
go
line.
down. But then you have to go through that straight line that you started with on one
Yeah,
side.
right here.
Sort of.
Yeah, so like here, I would do. Yeah, it's that same idea as I did on the earlier one. I'm coming up this side, and I'm going
And
around, and oops, and I'm stopping there.
right. Yeah. So it still looks like it's going under the piece of paper or whatever.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's woven. Looks like very intricate paper cutting something.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
But wait, you didn't see that?
Oh, yeah. You have a white pen?
Yeah.
Are you working on gray or white?
No, I'm working on white, so
Oh,
that's all
okay.
right.
You can fix that later.
We can fix that later. I'll put if anything, I'll put a little Bronx cheer in there. But yeah, the trick with this is because it's just kind of like you are just doing one side, but it does require a little bit of requiring thought.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and see, and like this, okay, so it's
Yeah.
it's the curve.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're okay because those two antennas coming out, you'd be on the inside.
Right, because like this, I would be doing here.
Right.
This one, and going around and coming here.
Right.
And there.
And that really
And then
ends it because you can't add any more to it now because you're more or less putting like a cap on everything.
Right. Oh, and actually see this. So this line right here, kind of, and then it meets up with that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sort of. Yeah, that's why I had to say, okay, am I done? And then you can do that oraing. And I think, see, I like that looks a lot better because when I was doing this one earlier, I'm like, this is not. I'm not liking it as well, and I just thought, well, maybe it's just because I've,
Oh, you did it differently.
Right. So this one, I did the entire thing, and I didn't care for it as much as
that
this.
looks, but that one
Wait.
looked like almost looked like a Native American pattern something.
This one, the gray one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The way you auraed that, it looks really changes the look of it without doing much different.
So you could do it either way, just like everything's Zentangle,
just don't
right?
do it both ways on the same one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We have to make a decision. Which way are we going? But this it does have a different look. And this one I started off with a hexagram, and then I added some white jelly roll because I just felt like messing with it in the middle. But yeah. And it was, in my side, I was like going, yeah, it was also a little sloppy, but that's okay. But that's me looking at it, and that's that. It's indigenous, Therese says. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, and Debbie says that yours looks like a slide under a microscope lens.
That too.
Oh my gosh. Well, I am dying to see what everyone else has come up with, even though say this is going to be a finished work in progress here. But so yeah, I was saying this one wasn't as bad as the first one. I was just like, oh, I can't even find the right words. It was almost as bad. So maybe what I'll do is I'll send this one out as an uncut replay, so that way everybody can relive. Oh, Karen, that is amazing. Oh my gosh, love it. Oh, Diane, like it too. Nice. Yeah, and then adding those other elements in there. Mm-hmm.
See, I was going to add those in these corners, but I was afraid to. So.
Oh, let's see. Oh, Terry, that's nice, Charmilla. Oh, I love. Look at that stretching all over. And Sherry got it. Well, Sherry was on earlier. See, and I like that. So how she, taking the pencil and kind of connecting that. See.
Mine doesn't look anything like any of that, but
hey, Alexa will like it though. It's okay. It's all okay. Oh, Michelle, oh, that looks nice. Yeah, see, and I like how you like on the round, doing the rounding and just playing with that shape. Neat. Oh, so here you got it. Nice.
I didn't get it. Diane didn't get it.
Oh, I think you did. Look at that.
No, this is a wifeful one for me. I didn't get it.
Well, what you did looks good.
This is the true meaning of my mind.
Yeah. There we go. Here's a glimpse. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, Michelle. Yeah, glad that your brain is still functioning. Okay, so whoever wants to get on, say hold them up, and I will get a screenshot. And anyone else, okay. Oh, we got one more. Sharmila. Oh, and Tio. Oh, look at that. So nice. Okay, hold them up for 1 second.
Wow.
Got it. Didn't get it. Waiting for them to recording play-by-play. All right, I got them. Thank you guys. Let me paste so that way I have it.
Very nice.
And and let me just.
I'll see you Thursday night too, Heather. Not morning, because.
Oh, okay, good.
I go get my second shot in the morning.
Oh, Diane, I like that. Oh, okay.
Well,
okay.
This is how I couldn't get it. This is my morning one. I still don't get it.
Oh,
but that's okay. I have other ones I like.
Yeah.
Don't take ibuprofen with your second shot. That's what I did. You're not supposed to take that ibuprofen.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
And my arm was.
I'm over the age to take ibuprofen. We were told when you're over 65, you're not supposed to take ibuprofen. It's bad for you. I can take Tylenol because it's still not good for you, but it's not as bad for you. So, but that's good to know.
And just my arm was sore. I didn't have any other thing. When you're older, you don't get all the other things. So good luck tomorrow.
Yeah.
The idea is to have plenty of fluid, so you're flushing it out of your system. So
okay.
Have plenty of water. Have plenty of decaf drinks.
Okay, I will do that.
And rest. You must rest.
Oh, I can do that easy. but I will tell Heather's dad that all the advice, and well, he's having his shot tomorrow, and I'm having mine Thursday. So
okay,
we will both be in the same condition, sort of, but we tend to take it easy a lot, so it's okay.
Okay, and don't forget to move your arm, because once you go to sleep and wake up in the morning, it'll be less stiff if you've moved it during the day.
Yeah, a friend of mine said when she had her second shot, she was doing like windmill things with her arms to make sure she kept moving it, and she didn't have any pain afterwards. So I will do that. All right, I will see you Sunday, Heather.
Okay.
No, I'll see you Thursday night.
Okay, that's as long as you're feeling up to it.
Yeah.
So that's good. That is good. All right. Well, this was super fun. Woo! Oh, and thank you, Michelle. Yeah. So the step out. I was more pleased with the second one because there's so many options. I just don't know kind of don't know which way to go with it, and that's what I was finding was being difficult. So because just almost too many options, and I was thinking, well, but some of it's helpful to do all of the different ones because you might get the triangle. I don't know, but thanks for having fun with me. So let me. I'm gonna turn off the recording now.